It's a plant. So what's the big fuss about? I think stigma needs to be knocked in the head at this stage of the game. It means 2025, cannabis is a natural medication. And at this stage, people feeling stigmatized for using a natural medication over an opioid or a benzo that's going to bring a multitude of side effects is mind-blowing. Cannabis brings none of these side effects that you get from the benzos, the opioids. It's not addictive, certainly not chemically addictive anyway. So why it's demonized still at this stage and why people should feel a stigma for consuming it blows my mind. I've been consuming cannabis now as a medication for almost 30 years. I chose it because it was natural, because the drugs the doctor put me on made me feel numb, made me feel like I had no emotion, and that's the last thing I wanted. I started treating with cannabis and I've never felt as good as I have since I've ever started treating with cannabis. People again are losing quality of life every single day because of stigma, because of how they're made to feel because they're using cannabis, and they don't want to feel like that. So they're not using cannabis for that reason. It's put so many people off, and that's not right. It's been proven long ago that reefer madness was all propaganda. But I think what that has done is created a stigma inside everybody's head. As much as it was propaganda, it was drummed into people for so many years. Certainly me growing up, I always believed weed was bad. It was a bad thing. I think that stigma for some people will maybe never disappear, especially people with anxiety and things like that, like myself. I'm a cannabis activist. I've a lot of cannabis knowledge. I've done a lot of exams in cannabis, studied a lot of books. And still to this day, when I consume medication, I feel a wee bit of a niggle in the back of my head telling me this is wrong, I shouldn't be doing this. Do you know what I mean? That's wrong when you're using a natural medication over a load of chemicals that are going to give you side effects. And if you want to choose something natural, you shouldn't feel like that. But I think a lot of cannabis consumers still feel like that, whether they know cannabis is right and there's nothing wrong with using it, even though they know that and they know the facts behind it. They know we have an endocannabinoid system that craves cannabinoids. We know we create our own cannabinoids in our body. Even when people know those facts, they still feel a bit of stigma. And I think that's really, really hard to shake off. So I think we need to figure out how to shake that stigma off altogether and make people realise that this is a plant, and it shouldn't be the last choice. It certainly shouldn't be the third choice. It should be the first choice of medication for most people. And it shouldn't be just patients at the end of the day. I mean, if anyone wants to consume it, they should be able to consume cannabis as a medication to try and see if it works for them. Obviously, as long as they're over 18. But anybody that wants to try cannabis should be able to try it as a medication. It shouldn't be restricted the way it is, but it is. Cannabis, at the minute, it's only available in private prescription in the UK, so you have to pay for it, obviously. So people are paying anything up to £900 a month, anything from £100 up to £900 a month. It's mental, the price. I think it's widely accepted by a lot of cannabis patients because a lot of cannabis patients have been medicating with street cannabis before this, so they're paying similar prices. So they're used to paying for their medication. Again, people shouldn't have to pay this price for medication, don't have to pay it to be addicted to benzos or addicted to opioids, do you know what I mean? And again, look at the side effects they bring. They're on other tablets for the side effects of the first tablet they got. They're on maybe 3 or 4 tablets by the time they finish taking tablets for the side effects of the first one. So it's mental, but that's widely accepted and socially accepted in this world. Which again, that's a bit that really surprises me, how that's so socially acceptable to take maybe 10, 15 tablets a day for some people. And that's totally socially acceptable. But for someone to lift a plant and consume a plant that's natural without the side effects and without the addictive properties isn't socially acceptable. That at this stage that is really hard to absorb, to be quite honest, both from a patient perspective and from an activist perspective. I think everybody in the cannabis community needs to really come together at the minute and figure out how to smash this stigma altogether. If anybody's any suggestions, drop them below, or certainly reach out if you want to do anything together to try and kill the stigma. Reach out. I'm here to help anybody in any way I can.